Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today? We are live and we are on the correct Facebook page. And we have nobody signed in yet. Nobody wants to learn about bugs. How sad. Everybody likes bugs. And as soon as someone goes, I don't like bugs, I say, do you like butterflies? Then you like bugs. All right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to try this on my phone.
Do you want me to get on Facebook?
It's okay. Ooh, we got some people signing on now. Yay! All right. Hi, everybody. I was just making sure that I was on the correct Facebook page because yesterday I was not on our Girl Scouts of the Desert Southwest Council page. I was on my own personal Facebook page, so nobody saw anything except the few people that I invited. And I sat there saying, I wonder why this format looks different than the format I did last week when I did knot tying. And that explains it. So, hi. So thanks for joining us today. And I am hopefully going to teach you guys something new and entertain you at the same time. So my name is Rink, and I am the STEM director of the Girl Scouts of the Desert Southwest. And today we are going to talk about, I know it said bugs, but you know what? Right now, everybody out there, you are an entomologist. And an entomologist is a scientist that studies arthropods. There you go. So everybody, poof, you are an entomologist for like the next 30 minutes because we're going to learn about arthropods. Now, arthropods is the largest group of animals, the most diverse group of animals in the world. Okay, so you guys know what mammals are, like dogs and cats and whales and humans. You guys know what birds are, like ostriches and hummingbirds and penguins. You guys know what reptiles are, like turtles and snakes and alligators and crocodiles and lizards. You guys know what fish are, like goldfish or angelfish, that sort of thing. Well, arthropods are basically insects and arachnids and centipedes and millipedes and crustaceans. Yum, crustaceans. But everyone says, well, I don't know what an arthropod is, but you do, okay? So arthropods have this hard coating all outside their body. They have an exoskeleton. I'm going to write that down so people can see what I'm talking about. An exoskeleton. And an exoskeleton means their skeleton means their skeleton is on the outside of their body. Okay, we have endoskeletons. Our skeleton's on the inside of our body. Arthropods have an exoskeleton, which is really good because it helps keep their insides on the inside. And if, say, an ant's climbing up a tree and it falls off, then it's not going to get hurt. Okay. So, hi, Hannah from El Paso in Troop 61145. All right. So arthropods have a lot of different groups in them, just like mammals have different groups. We have horses. Well, horses are nothing like people except that we have fur, in our case, we call it hair, and four-chambered heart, and we're warm-blooded. Okay, so arthropods are the same thing. They all have that exoskeleton, but then there's different groups within arthropods. And the first group we're going to talk about are insects. Okay, so here we go. Insect, right? Anybody know what this guy is? Give me a thumbs up if you know what this guy is. Okay, he's plastic. Okay, yeah, I get that. He's a toy. He's not, well, he's real. He's a real toy. He's just not alive. Okay. All right, so here we have your typical bee, right? How many legs do we have? 6. We've got 6 legs. Okay. How many antenna? Well, let me put them over here so you guys can, this is all backwards. How many antenna? There's little dilly boppers on top of his head. Yep, 2 antenna. All right. And finally, anybody know how many body parts he has? Even if I turn him this way, you guys can probably see. Or if I turn him this way, right? So we have this part right here. That's the head. Then this middle part right here, the part where his legs are attached, that's his thorax. And then this back part, we don't call it his butt. It's called an abdomen. Remember, we're entomologists, okay? So that's his abdomen. So we have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. And where part are the legs attached on? That's right here in the middle, in the thorax. Excellent, guys, excellent. All right, hey, Girl Scout Troop 52610, yay! Okay, so we've got 3 body parts. So insects, 6 legs, 2 antenna, 3 body parts. And there are so many insects out there. Scientists haven't even discovered all the insects. You want to have something named after you, be an entomologist, discover a new insect, and you can name it after you. Real simple. They're finding new insects all the time. But notice I keep saying insect and not bugs, okay? Bugs are a group of insects. This, I'm going to get this as close as I can for you guys to see, okay? That is a bug. Actually, that's a box elder bug, okay? You notice how it has kind of that X on the back? I'm going to try and do it this way. See that X? All right, that makes it a true bug. So all bugs are insects, but not all insects are bugs, all right? Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody get that? Thumbs up. So insects, 6 legs, 2 antenna, 3 body parts. All right. Yes, all right, Sonia, you knew 3. All right, so the next group of arthropods that we're going to talk about. Now, let me give you a hint about science. There is no ew in science. There is only ooh in science. All right, everybody got that? So no ews today. All right, arachnids. Who can tell me what an arachnid is? You think you know? It's not a bug, but it is an arthropod. All right, I see people out there thinking about it. Yes, spiders, scorpions. And I tried really hard to find some live one, guys, and I just couldn't do it. We had a little bit of a cold snap here, and I could not find any live ones that were big enough to show you, okay? So, spiders, 8 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, some people confuse these 2 things right here with legs. They're not. They're part of their mouth, and they use those to bring food up to your mouth. So imagine if you were eating a big bowl of ice cream, what would you use to eat it with? You're going to stick your face right in it? No, right? We're going to use a spoon, okay? So these right here, these are like their spoons because their mouth is basically under here, under the underside. So they use those like to bring food up to their mouth, okay? So we have arachnids. And we said arachnids have how many legs? Somebody give me an answer out there. Okay, oh, Aaron, much easier to see in front of the whiteboard. You got it. So there, we'll keep doing that. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. All right. How many legs on an arachnid? Who remembers? Do, 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 do. It's like a Jeopardy game here. Okay. 8 legs, right? 4 on one side, 4 on the other. Now, how many body parts? I'll even flip them over here. How many body parts? Think you guys know? You're right. 2 body parts. 2 body parts. Okay. We have the head and the head and the thorax are squished together into one part called the cephalothorax. Everybody say that word with me. Cephalothorax. Nice job. All right. And the back part, that's called the abdomen. And we heard about that for the insects, right? Because we don't call it their butt or their fanny. It's an abdomen. And you notice that the legs are coming out of the cephalothorax. Because if the legs came out of the abdomen, that would be like you having your legs come out of your tummy, which would just be kind of really weird. Okay. All right. Now, let me ask you this. Any antenna, any little dealy boppers coming off the head? Let me see if I can get this in right so he can see you guys. There we go. Nope, no antenna. So spiders, scorpions, 0 antenna. Okay, so arachnids, 8 legs, 2 body parts, no antenna. All right, look how smart you got. All right, and actually, I thought I had a scorpion, but I don't think I got one in my packet. All right, and then I did say one more that we can talk about that we're going to find. Now, most of these guys, let me erase here quick. Most of these guys, okay, once again, remember no ew, okay, think about it. Butterflies. Butterflies are insects. People love butterflies. At night, moths. Some people go freaking out over moths. I don't know why. They're just nighttime butterflies, okay? So insects, very good to have around. So what are the things they eat with called? Mandibles. These things right up here, these things, these 2 things in the front, mandibles. That's what those are called. Okay, good question. All right. Last one we're going to talk about that you probably have seen, nothing you want to mess with. Long and flat. Anybody have an idea what this thing is called? Sometimes they're this color, sometimes they're black. They do bite. Okay, long and flat. I'll see if I can adjust my camera here so I can do this in front of the board. Okay, so long and flat. Now they have all these lines. So you can see those lines on there. Those are called body segments. All right, and each one of these body segments has 2 legs. Now, some of these guys may have 12 legs. Some may have 20 legs. Some may have 40 legs. Some may have 52. Their name, does anybody know what their name is? Centipede. Yes. Rachel and Sonia, very good. All right, centipede. They really don't have 100 legs. Centi means 100, pede means foot or legs. And yeah, they really don't have 100 legs. Okay. So they look like it though, right? Now, these guys are venomous, which means when they bite you, it could make you sick. Poisonous means you have to eat it or it gets on you. Venomous means they have to bite you or sting you. So these guys, they do have venom, they bite. Now, let me ask you this, looking really close. And I know this is a plastic one, but this is a pretty good model. How many heads does this guy have? What do you think? How many heads does he have? Let's see if I can put him up here in front of the whiteboard and still be able to see. How many heads do you think he has? Let's see. Nope, centa means 100. So 100 legs, just like millipede means 1,000. Oh, 2 heads? Ah, see, he's fooling you. Actually, they only have 1 head. Actually, it'd be this end because we can see the little eyeballs here. Now, their back end looks like their front end. That is to trick something. Now, while these guys are hunters and these guys eat insects, they also get hunted, like by roadrunners. Roadrunners think these guys are an awesome snack. So as this guy's walking along and a roadrunner comes along, he freezes. Roadrunner's checking him out. Now, the roadrunner knows that if he eats the head first, he won't get bit, because roadrunners don't like to get bit, just like we don't want to get bit. So this guy, the centipede, he wiggles those back legs. He freezes except for those two back legs, and he wiggles them. And that confuses the roadrunner. So the roadrunner thinks this is his head and not this. So the roadrunner comes down, bites his head. The centipede whips around, bites the roadrunner, and is able to get away really fast. So pretty cool, right? Form of camouflage, making it look like he had two heads. So, all right. Yeah. So those you don't want to mess with. Sometimes we get them in our houses. We don't want to mess with them. If you see one, get an adult, take it outside. They're good to have outside in your garden and things because they eat the bugs that eat our gardens, but you don't want to have them in your house. Now, as an entomologist, we may want to know what we have outside. And if any of you have to do a science fair project, I have judged science fairs for 20 years. I'm showing my age right now. And I have never seen this done as a science fair project. And I bet you if you did this as a science fair project, you would probably get awesome scores, okay? So remember, an experiment means we're comparing two things, okay? And what I did was I put out some pitfall traps, little tiny vials, empty little medicine vials, recycle them. You want one that's kind of small, right? This doesn't have a very big diameter, maybe the size of a quarter, and it's not very deep. And you notice it doesn't have any of those shoulders that come down. It's just straight, it's a cylinder, straight up and down, okay? Now, I wondered where we would have the most diversity, the most different kinds of arthropods. So I put some, and I'm going to see if this works. I don't know. We're going to give it a shot here. I tried it earlier. Okay, that's the best kind of shot I can get you right there. Ooh, this way, okay. Kind of a city park. All right. And I put some pitfall traps there. And then, let's see if we can do this. There we go, this way. There we go. So I put some out in the desert. Okay, two totally different habitats. Sorry, guys, that was the best way I could come up with showing you the pictures. Little hard with all the glare we've got going on here, okay? And what I did was I went out and I put some of these traps out. And I was able to catch some arthropods. So I could see which place, which location, or which habitat had the most different kinds. You could do this at your house. You could do your front yard and your backyard. You could do your neighbor's yard and your yard. If you have a patch of desert or a patch of field, anything like across from your house, you can go out. All you need to have is a couple of these. These can be any color. My dog is on medication and hers comes in blue containers. It could be blue, okay? You want to kind of have them all the same, but everybody's going to have some of these. If you don't, guess what? Amazon.com. You can buy them, okay? So we're going to need a little shovel here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I put them in. So I'm going to bring my camera down here. Now, obviously, I'm not taking you guys outside, okay? And let me boost up my, can you slide that under, Miss Sharon? So I can, there, awesome, thank you. Okay, so now we can see a little bit better here. So I went out and I got some dirt. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna do it in this, but I can't take you outside because I don't have any internet outside, all right? Yes, it will still give you the correct idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pill vial, okay? And I'm gonna fill it with some water. Now I use an old water bottle I found that I don't use, I don't drink out of anymore, okay? Because if I have a cup and I dump it, I'm just gonna make a mess everywhere. So I have my water, and then I'm gonna take some dish detergent. Every day, whatever you have at the kitchen sink. And we are gonna put not 2, not 3, not 5, 1. 1 drop of dish detergent, okay? Everybody say that with me. 1 drop of dish detergent. Because if you put in more than 1 drop of dish detergent, it's going to bubble up, and then you have to like look through bubbles when we get that far, okay? So 1 drop, really quick. Boop, there we go, 1 drop. That's all it took, all right? And then I'm going to put my lid on it. This way, if I drop it or spill it, I'm not making a mess. So I'm going to go outside. I'm going to find a place where I can dig a hole. Now, I don't mean a hole that you can put your whole foot in. I mean a hole big enough to put a pitfall trap in. And what we're going to do is we're going to dig a hole. We're going to get the dirt out of the way. And some places are easier to dig than others. If you notice, I got soil I could dig very well in. All right. And I'm going to take my pitfall trap and I'm going to put it in the dirt, in the hole, and I'm going to push that dirt all the way back in. Now, the reason I have the lid on is because you don't want dirt falling in your trap. You want to catch insects. And I know, I guarantee there is somebody out there saying, but Miss Rink, if you have a lid on it, how can you trap them? Because we're going to take the lid off in a little bit, okay? So we got that. Now, very carefully, we're going to pull the lid off, okay? Save this. Don't throw these out. And we're just going to make sure that the soil is all the way around close to the top. That way, when our arthropod, that's not a very good arthropod. He's too dark. Okay, there we go. So when our arthropod comes walking along and they walk across the water, they fall in. Okay, that is why we use the dish detergent. Water is very hard. Has anyone here ever done like a belly flop, like you went off the high dive or something and you belly flopped or you did a backflip? It hurts, right? Oh man, one time I was trying to do a backflip when I was a kid and I got it and I went wham! And oh, I just kind of hit that water and I just kind of laid there and my back was all red and it even hurt just to swim and I was like sinking and my mom's like, swim to the side. And I'm like, it hurts. Okay. So water's hard, which means these little guys that are so tiny, they can walk right across the water. So we put the dish detergent in so that way it breaks the surface tension. Good science vocabulary word for you guys out there. Surface tension, and when they walk along, bloop, in they go. Then we can trap them, and then we can see what we have. Now, you want to leave these in 2-3 days, especially overnight. So you could do something, instead of comparing your front yard to your backyard, you could do next to a bush or under a bush and out in the open, in a patch of grass, in a patch of dirt, anywhere that you want to, anywhere you want to think, where would we have the most different kinds? Okay, so I'm going to move my camera again. So 3 days, I put these out on Monday. I have some that I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So I've put some out on Monday. No, I'm sorry, put some out on Tuesday. Today's Thursday. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to find it. Now, do me a favor and write down where you put them or draw yourself a map, because I did a citizen scientist journey with the girls from Midland. And I didn't draw a map of where I put them, and I could not find 3 of my pitfall traps. Matter of fact, they even made a little video of me not making a map and where did my pitfall traps go. So if you happen to be in the Midland area at the Girl Scout Center there, and you find some pitfall traps, you'll know what happened to them, because Miss Rank didn't draw a map and I lost them. Okay, so I wasn't being a very good entomologist. All right, so now we have it, and now we can take this inside. All right, let me get my dirt out of the way here. Actually, I probably shouldn't call it dirt. I should call it soil. Okay, so what we're going to need for this next part, and this is all kind of like what you got in the pantry or in the shelves or in the kitchen, somewhere like that. Yes, Aaron, good point. Make sure ask your parents before you do any of this. Don't go digging holes like in next to the rose bushes or something like that. Ask first. Matter of fact, your parents would probably enjoy helping you dig a little bit. All right, so I'm going to use a clear plastic plate and I'm going to put a piece of white paper behind it. Okay, I also have a magnifying glass and I have a pair of forceps, or you could use tweezers. Okay, forceps are just scientific tweezers. All right, and I'm going to bring this down again so you can see what I'm doing. Now, this does not have to be a clear plastic plate. If you have an old dish that's red, if you have an old dish that's blue or white, or a saucer or a dessert plate, anything like that will do, okay? You just don't want this to be paper, because what you're going to do is you have your pitfall trap, and I cleaned off the dirt on this a little bit. We can see we got some stuff in the, ooh, wrong way. We got some stuff in the bottom there. Ooh, I see wings and I see some antenna. All right, let's see what we got. So I'm going to carefully open it up. I'm going to pour very gently some of it out, and then I'm going to give it a swirl, because I want to get all that loose stuff at the bottom swirled around, and then I'm going to pour it out on my plate. Now remember, how many drops of dish detergent did I say? 1. If you put more than 1 drop of dish detergent and you start swirling it around or you drop it, now this is full of dish soap bubbles, which means all those dish soap bubbles are going to be down on your plate and you're not going to be able to see anything. Okay, so I'm going to move this back down so we can see. All right, now I tried to do this earlier and try to figure out where this needs to be. Oh, that actually turned out pretty good. So there we go. You can kind of see what I have. All right, I'm going to look. This one's pretty big right here. I can tell right now that I have, there we go. I got something with wings, and that looks to be some sort of fly. It has 2 wings. Ooh, there we go. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him off to one side. And I'm going to look at, oh, you know what? I have something else here. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this tiny little gnat. Okay, has 2 little wings there, little gnat. I'm going to put him off to this side. I have, and I definitely see if we can see this guy. There we go. I have, he's a tiny little ant, little red ant. It looks like kind of a dark red. Now I'm going to put him over on this side because he is different than this guy and this guy. I'm going to make different piles to see how many different kinds I have. Now I happen to notice that I have another little gnat, so I'm going to pick him up and put him over with this one. And I have another little ant, and he matches this one. And then, I don't know if you can help me see. Let me see if I can line this up. This is not easy. This is so backwards. Okay, so see, I got some dirt here, right? So I have to look through my dirt. Oh, that's a piece of plant. All right, and I'm going to take a really quick look. That's a piece of plant. That is something really tiny that I see some antenna on, so I'm going to pick him out. Now remember, he has antenna, so that means that he is not, if I can get a hold of him here, that he is not an arachnid, right? And there we go. I'm going to put him up there. And everything else looks like either a little rock, because, you know, wind will blow some stuff in, or a piece of plant. Yep, right there I got a tiny little branch. Okay, so you never know what you're going to find. But the point is, where I put this trap, I had 1, 2, 3, I had 4 different arthropods. All right, so I could go and I could, there you go, I could go and take my next pitfall trap, and you can see this one has a little more dirt on it, and it's got a few things in there. Let's see if I put it over here where we can see. Okay, or maybe put it on this side so you can see against the white. It's got something. Now look what happens when I shake it up. Bubbles. See, we don't want the bubbles. So now it's harder to see. So these that I looked through, they were from the desert. This one was from that park with all the grass, and I could look through this one and I could compare to see which had the most kind. All right. So that would be an awesome science experiment where you could see 2 different places and compare. Or maybe you just want to see what's out there. I don't even know what's in my backyard. So what we can do then is we can put a bunch of traps out. Once again, yes, ask your parents first. Put a bunch of different traps out, and we can open each one, and then you could start making groups and see how many different kinds of arthropods you have. All right. So I have, and I'm gonna post these, because remember we talked about arthropods being different groups, right? So I am going to post these after this video is done. I'll post it to our Facebook page. I've got this really cool sheet I made up that's common insects, right? So it has what order of insects they are, a little description and example. And then I also have one for arachnids, right? So vinegaroons, spiders, ticks, sulpugid, tarantulas, spiders, that kind of thing. And I have those, and I will post those after this. But this is something that you can do. Okay, like I said, how many drops of dish detergent? 1 drop of dish detergent, right? Because otherwise you get bubbles, and we don't want bubbles. Okay, so what I would, and you could put this into a data table, right? You could put the location and how many different kinds you had. You could make a graph out of it. We got some math going on. We got some STEM going on. You're entomologists now. So you don't have one of these, that's okay. You can just use your bare eyes. Now, I'm old, I have contacts, I have to use one of these. Don't have a pair of forceps, don't have a pair of tweezers. Guess what? A toothpick works. Okay, you can just use a toothpick. So it doesn't have to be a clear plastic plate, but you either want it to be like glass or plastic. You don't want to use a paper plate because then it'll just make a mess. Now, if all you happen to have are paper plates and your parents say, you are not putting dead bugs in dishwater on one of my dinner plates, you say, that's okay. Because what you can do is you can get an old towel or an old t-shirt that nobody wears anymore, and you can put it down, and then you put your paper plate on top. So that way all that cloth underneath, when that water soaks through the paper plate, can collect that. And then you just got to wash it and you throw out your paper towel. Okay. Now, before you say, I want to keep the bug I found, first, ask your parents if you can. And if you want to, you have your pitfall traps. You can put your bug. Ooh, insect. Yes, someone should be catching me saying bugs all the time because it's insects. I was seeing if you guys were paying attention. Okay. And then you can fill it with some rubbing alcohol, and then that will help preserve it. Okay. So you can put the lid back on, but don't just put water or anything, because then they start to rot and they get icky and stinky and smelly. So you want to put something like rubbing alcohol that can help preserve them. Okay. So I've got, a clear plastic lid. Yes. Yes. A lid will work. If you have an old sandwich container, just something where the water is not going to go all over the place. I mean, you could do it in something like this. So when I'm done, I usually have an old one of these, because I've cleaned out the drawer and I have all these lids that don't match the bottoms and all the bottoms that don't match the lids. So what I do is I take one of the old ones that doesn't have a lid anymore. And I'm going to do this very carefully. I'm going to pick this up because I don't want to make a big mess all over my desk. And then I'm just going to pour that in like that. And then I can take this out and just dump it back outside. You don't want to put this down the kitchen sink with all that dirt. Okay, dump it back outside. Put the water back out into the water cycle. Okay. All right. So, anybody have any questions? A lot of science coming at you. I had set it up that I had this little poll that I was able to ask questions for you guys, and it went away. So I don't know how to do that because, once again, technology here. We're on a learning curve. Everyone's learning how to do this Facebook Live stuff. So I have a question for you. Okay, you guys ready? Little quiz. How many legs does an insect have? How many legs does an insect have? There you go. 6. Excellent. Very good. Okay. And Leslie, you can't do this all over camp until I'm done with mine because we're doing this during the Geek Out Week, just so you know. So, hey, if you need to come to resident camp, I'll be there for the whole first week of camp, and we're doing a whole Geek Out with Science type thing. All right. How many antennas do arachnids have? Remember, spiders, scorpions, how many antennas? There you go. Big fat 0. No antennas. All right. Last one. What is a scientist called that studies arthropods? Because you guys were all one this morning. What is the name of the scientist that studies arthropods? People are thinking. I can smell it. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. An entomologist. That's what you guys are. You guys were entomologists, right? So remember, arthropods all have that exoskeleton. Not some bugs. Some insects are bugs, but not all bugs are insects. Okay. And please don't hurt one of these guys' feelings by calling them bugs, because remember, they're not bugs. All right. So for those of you who joined me on my knot tying, remember, don't be afraid, tie a knot and hang on. All right. Stay green, everybody. Bye.